Hello and welcome. My name is Tom.
And I'm Heather.
And you're sitting at the Couples Table.
The Couples Table is a live stream podcast here on this channel. Join us, for better or worse.
For richer or poorer.
In sickness and in health.
1 hour later today.
I see Ben.
Yeah, Ben's here.
Hi, Ben.
Oh,
Benny. Hello, everybody. We had to change the time because...
I had a doctor's appointment. Yay!
Yes. Gil thought he was late. You weren't. It was us. Jeremy Hubble's in the house. Hello, Will. Will N is here. Hello, hello. Audio hotline. Hello, Kat. Happy Friday. Matt. Hello from Music City, USA.
Matt and Kat.
Matt, Kat, and Chip. Hello. Jet lag. The older I get, the harder it is. Oh man. I mean, I think it's always hard. I get jet lag from New York.
Yeah, it's 3 hours.
I know. Anyway, how's your Friday going, Tom?
Mine's good. I got a little bit of gear to talk about to start off our Creator Chat Friday.
All right, let's go.
If you all indulge me for a second.
Let's do it.
So I'm using the PodMic USB today.
The PodMic USB. This is the PodMic USB. Not this one.
That was the video we did, though. We did a video on my channel when this came out compared to 25 other, actually it ended up being like 28 other microphones. It's on both of our voices. But Heather put together this whole thing where each microphone we tested, she was doing like 90s trivia. So it's a really fun video to go check out.
That's a fun video.
It's a good way to hear a male and a female voice on a bunch of different microphones, but it's also like, even if you don't care about the mics, the video is really fun. But I'm using the PodMic USB.
Okay.
And the reason I'm using that is because I have this blue windscreen on here.
He's got the blue windscreen.
Rode announced they gave this to me earlier this year. It's the blue one, and they announced they're actually selling these. It's something you can actually buy right now. And this one they sent early. Sorry for that sound. They're really like thick. They kind of only fit on the PodMic, plasticky and then foamy and pretty colors. But then I had to go and just order like a bunch of the other colors. Oops.
Oh.
Sorry. So these just got delivered right now. I got the green, which is pretty. It's a good green. I don't know if Aubrey's here, but it's a perfect green for Aubrey.
That's a perfect green, yeah.
A really awesome pink.
Yes.
And then a purple.
Purple.
Which I was going to use the purple today, but I thought it would blend in a little, maybe too much.
This is the problem with purple.
Like,
when you have all purple.
Am I holding anything in my hand right now?
Exactly.
Or not? So I needed a little bit of contrast. And I thought those were cool. And this had been in the background of my videos for months before they were available. And people kept asking, like, actually, I'm going to take one. People kept asking, like, can I get that? Can I get that? And I was like, soon, soon, soon. Now you can get it, which is great. So I'm going to pop this pink one on here. This is a really good vibrant pink. Apologies for that.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
There we go. I love the pink and the green.
That looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's really nice. And they even have other ones. They have orange. They have like, I forget what other color. Of course, there's a black one if you just want plain black. But then. So here's something you might. This is where we're going into a bit of a gear segment here. Here's the Shure SM7B.
This is the Shure SM7B.
I have not seen my SM7B look like this in like years, which is just when you buy it, this is what it looks like, right? It has this little windscreen. It has a little plastic clip. You can pop it out, and actually, it comes with a big fat windscreen too. So if you really want extra plosive protection, I see these a lot. These were used a lot more like in radio stations and stuff. Oh. Especially if someone doesn't know how to use a microphone, they just kind of put it next to them. They have no mic technique. This will block out every breath, everything, every breath you take. But maybe about 4 years ago now, actually, I was watching a stream from Doc Rock. He was using his SM7B, and he had a purple windscreen on it.
Yes.
And then he told me about reporterstore.com, where I then bought colored windscreens.
Yes.
The reason I bring that up is for at least the last 3 years, one of, if not the most common question on my channel has been, where do you get the colored windscreens? Yeah. Reporterstore.com. And these are the thing is they're a little bit expensive. They're like $20 to $25 each, but they're good. They're good quality, and they're not just spray paint. Like they're
and
they're
you
nice.
Shouldn't have to ever change it.
And they last forever. Mine are years old at this point. They're based in Denmark though, so it's not. If you live in the U.S., it's international shipping, which is pricey. So it's like $25 to ship them to the U.S. But it's kind of flat rate. So I usually wait until there's a bunch I want to order. They used to only have SM7B ones. Now they have PodMic and Wireless Pro and SM58. And like you can get colored windscreens. You can get text put on them for like a lot of very popular microphones. You have a lot of options. So I just wait until there's like a bunch I want to get. Here's the silver one that Matt got us. I wait till there's a bunch I want to get and then just kind of order them all at once. all this to say, because
All
I did
this to
mention Doc
say-
Rock. Doc has been working for like at least the last year to literally go through the process of designing and manufacturing his own
Yes.
windscreens. He's going to call them Doc Pops.
Doc Pops.
I'm not breaking news here. He's already posted about these. They're not out yet. He's
Doc
like finishing them up.
Pops.
He's got like all the prototypes and everything. And his goal there is to kind of like match or exceed the quality, but make them a little more accessible in terms of like price and shipping and stuff.
Sure.
But since that has been a common question, I did want to point out a couple other things because this is a common question. Here's another reporterstore.com
God,
one.
that
I
pink
love
is
these colors.
So good.
It's so pretty. Amazon did start selling them. So this was like $7 on Amazon.
Here, let me see if I can feel the difference.
Okay, here's one.
Okay.
And here's the other. Does
Oh,
one...
this one's better.
That's
Hands
the
down.
reporter
Hands
store.
down.
Yeah. These ones are inexpensive, the Amazon ones, but they are literally just
It's
like
more dense.
foam. You can just feel the quality difference.
Yeah.
These ones also, like you can literally put your finger in there and feel the breath getting through. A lot more gets through with these. They work fine though. They're really stinky, especially when you get them. Like I had to leave this outside for a day or two because it just airs off weird foam chemicals or whatever. These never do that. There's 0 scent to any of these. But if you wanted other options,
That's unpleasant.
it happens with like cheap foams. If you get like drone cases, camera cases that have cheap foam inserts, when you open them up, it's like, ugh, you got to let them air out for a while. I think Audio Hotline talked to me about this. A lot of stuff, like some really not good gases and things can come off of them. But thing I just realized recently, B&H sent a surprise package, an array of RA windscreens, because
Oh my God, you have so many.
I know, almost enough for every mic. So now B&H's or Ore, I don't know if it's B&H's brand, but Ore sells
Ore.
windscreens. Here, I'm gonna take the orange one because we don't have another orange one out. They started selling SM7B windscreens. These are about $14 now, and they're
Okay.
good quality. They feel pretty much exactly like the one that comes with the SM7B.
Oh, it's a good orange.
In fact, they're the only ones I've ever used that feel pretty much exactly the same.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, same
Yeah.
size, same shape, and they're the only ones I've seen that come with this plastic ring. The official SM7B one has a plastic ring, so it kind of clips in and won't fall off. These are the only ones I found that come with that as well. So you can pop those on there, and it locks down, and then it's like officially a fish. So that's cool, and they're like $14. And B&H usually has free shipping or very cheap shipping in the U.S. So
all
cool,
right.
accessible. Downside being they come in 5 colors, and it's just sort of like the primary colors. So like the blue you can kind of see in here is like a royal blue. It's very pretty. There's a green that's more, it's not, I like the neon lime green.
It's Crayola crayon green.
This is Crayola green, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's a red that's just a straight up red, which is nice. A lot of people want red. And I really like this orange. But, you know, and they have a black too as well. The downside to these, we're getting into the weeds here.
Add some sash up in there.
The downside to these potentially is that they have this ring on them, so you can't really use them with anything other than the SM7B. So I have my MV7 because I didn't want to mess up your sound. You can
Thank you.
use the SM7B one on the MV7 if you need to, but the ring just sort of makes it look a little like, here's a reporterstore.com one. If it's on a little more snug, it looks a little more proper, like it's made to be that way, right? This one looks a little more like you put a different, and it's not as tight because
A
of
little
that.
bit of a buffer.
So it means that these ones are really only good for the SM7B. So I just wanted to point that out, though. If you have an SM7B, you have lots of options for windscreens. But I also wanted to point out something I found out right before this.
What'd you find out, Tom?
If you have an MV7, like
Yeah.
you're using right now in here, one of my biggest complaints, I don't know if they changed this on the MV7 Plus, is this mic is so prone to plosives. And the windscreen that comes with it is not particularly great. You have really good mic technique on yours. You don't
I,
suffer with
though?
plosives. But it is definitely a problem. But check this out. What you can do,
What are we going to do?
you can take the pod mic ones, the Rode WS14, you can stuff the
That's too
MV7
much.
windscreen in there, and you can pop it on here, and it actually works. And then you have this. Now it will be double pop filters, so you're gonna be muffling the
Double
mic
Protect.
more, but no plosives in the world will get through here. And it honestly, I kind of like the way it looks. It looks a little silly, but in a way that I like. So it actually is an option because these don't fit. The question I've had about the Rode ones is, do they fit on other mics besides the pod mic? The answer is not really. Maybe a little bit on the Procaster, not really on an NT1 or whatever, but you can wedge another thing in there and then it will fit. Anyway, this has been Talking Pops.
Talking Pops with Tom Buck.
Yeah.
Talking Pops. All right. Let's see. Let's check in. Matt was in London.
Oh, wow. That is some jet lag.
That's
too much.
We haven't.
We've been to the airport in London.
Well, how long was the time difference in Switzerland?
That was a big one.
Yeah, right?
It's
a decent
That's like 8
amount.
or 9 hours ahead, right? Yeah, something like that.
Let's see.
Oh, the green would match the cable because it's a road cable and road green, and it's the exact same shade of green. They're very good at matching. Like this matches the purple cable, this matches the blue cable, which also match the lights on the roadcasters. So you can have the blue mic on the blue channel with the blue cable.
Kane is here from Australia.
What's up, Kane?
And Andre. So the retirement plan is opening up a shop with vintage wood screens about 20 years time.
Yeah, you can smell the breath.
Oh no. Well, that was fun.
I don't know. Yeah, Talking Pops.
What else is going on?
Besides windscreens.
Yeah.
What else have we been doing?
I like the our desktop mat here.
Yeah, it's the same one that I have.
I know. That's
nice.
cute.
It is cute. Cute.
Cute.
There we go. Just put all the colors there.
Oh, I love it. Here. We'll just
Colors are fun.
Yeah. If anyone tunes in right now, it's gonna be like, what?
It's pretty though. It's like Skittles, you know.
There, can you move the box? There we go. Yeah. But put the big poofy one.
The poof. I said a poof. There we go.
All right. There we go. See?
Oh, my God. There we are.
So what else is up? I feel like there was something I wanted to talk to you about, but I can't remember.
I mean, there's lots of things that are up, but I don't know if we need. I don't know what we want to talk about. I just want to
Final Cut Pro 10.8.
Oh yeah.
You want to talk about that?
10.8. Yes. Oh, I was like, did you have a note? I was looking at your notes. No, it was Jeremy. Yes. Final Cut Pro has a relatively large.
Are you excited about it?
Yes.
What are you most excited about?
Two things. In terms of tools, they have this thing called Enhance Light and Color, which is almost like auto correcting the light and the color of your clips, which is very nice.
Yeah.
Which they've had before, but this is significantly better because they're using machine learning, which I think is what Apple is calling AI because they don't want to call it AI. I think they call it machine learning. So it's like an AI feature.
Wow, really? I feel like that was the worst part about AI, and they leaned into it. Interesting.
I don't know if it's the same thing or not, but Apple's like weird. It's like how the Vision Pro is not VR, even though it's a VR headset. You know, like they're it's Apple. They can't use like the name that everyone already calls everything. But it's very cool. What's very cool about that is it does a really good job at taking your footage and then making it look better. Which there was already kind of a preset thing. This is significantly better, but it also uses all of their kind of in-depth sliders that they have for like saturation and tints and lights, dark, shadows, contrast, all that stuff. And it adjusts those and then it shows you them right there so you can continue fine-tuning it, which you couldn't do before. So for color correcting and stuff, that's really big. They also add this really cool slow motion thing where it uses machine learning. Now, if you slow down a non-slow motion clip, it does it in a way that doesn't look weird and blurry and blobby, but it looks like legit slow motion. That's very cool and incredibly helpful. And there's some other stuff like the way you can apply presets and cool little quality of life features. There's now like you can have it where when you play your video, the timelines, what's it called? Playhead stays in the middle and the timeline just moves around it, so you don't have to keep like going off the screen. You can just see it. Your whole timeline will just move by it.
Wow.
Yeah. They kind of had that for a while, but now it's like a one-click super easy thing. So I like all the features of it. What I really like about the update is it shows that Apple still remembers that they have Final Cut Pro. Sometimes it feels like they forget. And it also shows that as they're investing more of their like machine learning technology into it, they probably have, hopefully, more features, bigger features, robust features in the pipeline for the future. So to me, it shows that Final Cut Pro is still a thing. It's still something worth investing in if you want it.
Gil Loki wishes they added auto captions. I'm surprised.
That's the big one that people have been asking for, and
I feel like that's an easy integration, but What
I
do
feel
know?
like Apple, the thing they recently, I know they're replacing Siri with like an AI. I don't know if it's chat or whatever, but like oh no, it's a different thing. They just announced that, and I feel like that's the technology that will come from, but it hasn't filtered its way down to Final Cut yet.
Mark Redder says, on a previous podcast, you mentioned that the SM7B pop filter fits on the MV7. I tried it and it works well.
Yeah, it's a great way to like get rid of them plosives.
Jeremy says you can rename effects.
Yes, if you have things like color wheels 1, color wheels 2, color wheels 3, you can actually rename those to be like highlights, dark, outside, whatever.
Gil says also naming the layers of edits, such an easy quality of life thing.
Yeah, lots of little and a very cool one is if you have a clip that has a whole bunch of corrections that you like, instead of used to be able to copy that clip and then paste the attributes on another clip or just create a new preset. Now you can click on that clip, select the effects you want to drag over, and just drag them to the window of the other clip, and like bloop, and they all go there. So
that's interesting.
Nice quality of life stuff.
Aaron is here, stopping by to say hi, and hitting the like.
It's been a while.
Audio hotline. I am doing some inspecting on the MV7 Plus USB versus XLR because as of now the USB sounds worse, but it does have the pop stopper software that works pretty well.
That is my most requested thing is people want an MV7 Plus review, which I want to do specifically for that actually because the MV7 is an XLR mic or MV7 Plus like done. It's the USB side of things that I'm interested in, and specifically the software. Speaking of Doc again, we mentioned his name 3 times, so it's like Bloody Mary. He's going to appear. He has been using it on his streams with the software, and he has it sounding fantastic. But I don't know. I haven't played with the software at all, so I don't know.
Andre says AI is more of a generic term for computers pretending to be human. Machine learning is a specific way computers learn to do things by using training data. Apple Intelligence, Shtick ML.
Right, because Apple's calling it Apple Intelligence for their AI. I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah. But I felt like the controversial part about AI that everyone is not okay with is the machine learning part. Like, that's the part we're not supposed to talk about. Because it's like sus-sourced.
Well, I've always thought machine learning was the machine itself is capable of learning, which I know sounds basic, but like it's able to take in information and then iterate on it and continue to iterate on it. Like chat's a good example. I don't know if chat's a good example of this, but like I asked it a question. I want to do a video on Final Cut, not this, but other Final Cut things, and I wasn't sure like. Software thumbnails are really hard. So I asked chat, like, what are some ideas for a Final Cut Pro thumbnail for this video title? Not to get visuals, but it actually gave me descriptions like option 1, person doing this. But it said option 1, person, possibly Tom Buck, like holding the Final Cut Pro thing. And I'm like, okay, so you know, as I'm asking you this, who I probably am and what I'm asking you this for.
Or maybe it's recommending that to everyone.
I'm just going to see AI versions of myself in a lot of thumbnails.
Oh, that's funny. Matt says, all I want from Final Cut is a setting that deletes the temp files that ignore, fill up a lot of space really quickly. Yeah, I do that. I delete it like as soon as I'm done.
Yeah, constantly. And I talk about that in a lot of different videos. I have a video I'm working on right now that talks about that, but you have to consciously go in. It's not like, hey, you're done with this file?
You like all or just unused only?
All.
Yeah, same.
Because it doesn't hurt anything.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, I just have to re-render some stuff.
Yeah. You're also weird though, because you only do one project at a time.
Not always. Sometimes I do. Like I currently have 3.
You start new libraries all the time.
I start new libraries monthly. So I have a June library, July library. And that's just...
I haven't started a new library since I started my gaming channel. I'm using the same library.
So, I mean, some people use a new library for every project. Because Final Cut's naming conventions are weird. I have a whole video about that. Like, library is not as big and important as it sounds when you're creating it.
AI is just branding.
Yeah, I saw someone who was like, I bought a washing machine that has AI. But it's like, obviously it doesn't. It's just like... You'll pay $80 more or whatever. They could charge $80 more because it says AI on the box.
The machine learning problem is a process where they...
For example, use illustrations from artists and then able to fake artwork looking like the artist's work without crediting the artist.
But that's the thing, though, is like, I feel like the consumer impression about AI is that? Because that was their introduction.
Well, it's like Terminator. Like then the machine, like it steals stuff, becomes sentient, creates things, and nobody gets credit.
Yeah, like if you probably if you're a content creator, it's beyond that. But I feel like the average like consumer that's their impression of what AI is, and I still see so many people. Okay, so for example, I was looking at Tom and I used to make videos for Mighty Networks. So if you go to Mighty's YouTube channel, you'll see a lot of us there. But in some of the comments, there are people saying like, "I don't want AI. Like, can I turn it all off?"
Oh, because Mighty has an AI feature.
Has many
AI features.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I understand people's hesitation in not wanting to use AI, but I also feel like the people who are so staunch against it's because of this like not ethical way of,
or ambiguous way. Even if this, the way Mighty does it is fine, the people might be like, is it taking everything from my community and like training something?
Right.
Or
is it being used for something else?
Right.
We're all figuring it out.
Trying our best. Oh, this is interesting.
This?
Sorry, this was on Huddle Up. I got to be a guest on Huddle Up this week.
The YouTube Huddle Up?
Yeah.
Yes, Tom was the guest on the YouTube Huddle Up this week, and it was like so fun.
And we talked about YouTube rolling out A/B thumbnail testing to all channels.
Okay, here we go. It's a call time. Let us know if you have the feature of the A/B test thumbnail thing.
Everybody should have it by the end of this month, but I hadn't got it, and I got it like later that day when we talked about it.
It's on in the studio, right?
Yeah, but what I'm looking at, I see you have your YouTube window open, and my thumbnail from yesterday is up, and that was
they're showing this one.
That is, yeah. There's multiple thumbnails for that video. When I log in, I see a different thumbnail, and I freaked out for a second. It's like, did I forget to change the thumbnail? And I realized no, it's running a test, which is actually quite cool.
Wait, so where is it? I go here.
You go to any video, go to edit a video,
here,
and then scroll down to your thumbnails. Oh yeah, so you have it.
Where?
Because there's not the boxes here anymore. So if you go over your thumbnail and you click the dots, you can do test and compare.
Oh.
And you can do up to 3 thumbnails.
Oh. Wait, how do I? Okay, ready? Boop.
There you go. That's what it looks like.
Here we go.
You can do, so you can do 3 different thumbnails. It will automatically run them up to 2 weeks. It'll test them for, and then you can decide what you want, or if there's a very clear winner, you can check within 3 weeks. Like tomorrow you could go in and see what the percentages are for each one. But if there's a very clear winner, like one thumbnail's getting 90%, the other 2 are getting 5 each, it'll just auto select the clear winner. And then there is something, can you exit out of that?
Yeah.
And click, you can show everybody. I don't want to see how it works. Click on the 3 dots on your thumbnail again.
Yeah.
And do auto generated. Okay, so these are just the same ones.
The auto.
I didn't know if it got smarter.
I mean,
it does. It has gotten better. Those are all actually not terrible thumbnails.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
All right, let's see. Gil says, I personally believe Apple is not going to add these AI features because other apps like CapCut have it, and those apps have a subscription, which Apple gets a cut of.
I think it's just the thing of Apple, like they just can't call things what they are. It's almost the way Disney like has Star Wars Land. You're like, no, that's Galaxy's Edge. Okay, it's Star Wars Land. Like just like everybody calls something, but the company is like, no, it's this. It's like, okay, fine.
That's like Instagram search is now search plus AI. I just want to search and don't want AI.
That's a confusing one because it's like you go to like search.
I tried to search and then it started talking to me.
Ask Meta anything. I just want to find
like
hockey stuff. I don't want.
What was I looking?
Not looking for an existential thing.
I was looking for a recipe, and it typed a recipe for me, and I was like, no, I want.
Like to find
videos. I want videos. And
it's a weird place to put that feature. Like, why is this here?
Yeah, and then like literally yesterday, the last time I looked at it, it was like, how do I make sure that I'm searching and not submitting to AI? Like,
yeah, it's gonna be that
you have to push return.
You know how there was that old thing on Facebook where like people who maybe typically older people who didn't necessarily know how to do it would use the Facebook status bar as a Google search. and you would just
Oh,
get
no.
like whatever they're searching for. I feel like that's happening to everybody on Instagram now.
While we're talking about the mic, the Shure Nexodyne 8 is so much better than the SM50 and M58 Beta. For live vocals, it is dynamic champ now.
That seems to be like consensus, which is crazy. Like Shure released a new mic that basically replaced their like previous. It'd be like if they came out with a new SM7B that actually was like objectively better in every way, which would be kind of crazy.
Jeremy got A/B testing this week.
Sweet.
Mike is here. Hey guys,
Sup,
just
Mike?
made it. Kane says, "Hey, a tangent, but do you have access to SRT streaming to YouTube?"
I don't know what that means.
I don't either. That sounds interesting though.
It stands for sorry treble. I don't know what it means.
Sorry. Well, there you go. A/B test. I'm excited. I feel like that Tom has been the one to design my thumbnails for the past few
Couple
I've
videos.
done. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun because we've been going in like.
It's cool because I feel like you're able to. It's fun to see you experiment with thumbnails because there's no way you would ever make that style.
It's not
for
the style I
yours.
use on my
Yeah.
channel. It's not something you've used on yours. So
Yeah,
we're just like,
so it's
let's
been
try
fun.
this. Yeah.
I like it. You seem to get real into it.
Yeah, it's like definitely like over the top.
Yeah. Well, do you want to talk about that one thing? About the guy, the Instagram guy who does just like reacts or whatever.
Oh, I didn't know. I mean, sure, we could.
We said that we were going to talk about it. We don't have to.
Oh, I don't remember. Well, now we kind of like.
Parecki has SRT and has demoed it.
Oh, I have no idea what it is. It sounds like. I'm guessing it sounds like a custom streaming thing where you can like.
It's like
there we go.
RTMP but lower latency and better for less reliable connections. ATEM switchers recently updated to support.
There we go. Yeah, Aaron loves to stream directly from his ATEM, so it's like he's not even running through a computer. He's streaming from the ATEM.
Oh.
Which is very, very cool. And he even had that. I was a guest on his stream once a while ago, and he had me like plug my ATEM in, and then he connected to my ATEM and brought all of my stuff into his show
That's freaking
remotely.
Aaron, man.
Yeah, I don't know how any of that works.
He was the one who was like mission control. Anytime anyone had a problem at NAB, he was just like, "Oh, just do this and
Yeah.
da-da-da-da."
He is like a real genius.
Yeah.
Lower latency, that's nice. That makes a lot of sense.
It's a lower latency.
High quality, low latency. That'd be nice.
Well, I mean, I don't know if there's anything that we need to talk about it, but I just think that we feel conflicting feelings about it. So I feel like it's worth the discussion. We're not like trying to make an opinion. I don't remember what the guy's name is though.
Well, I mean, even if we show it or not, this thing popped up in Heather's Instagram feed. So one of our
I
like
can't even get up
activities
there.
that we've been enjoying lately is like if it's nighttime or something, I kind of just like
we
cuddle
just,
up next to Heather and go through her feed with her because hers is like way more fun than mine. It's a lot of like memes and cute animals and like funny stuff. So we just go through her Instagram feed, and this one popped up a while ago that was funny. It was like I forget what the thing was, but it was like first day at a water park or something.
Yeah, if you guys know what account I'm talking about, then can you let me know?
Well, the account is like the title of something would be like first day at a water park, and it's a guy, and he like kind of just walks sort of like a blank expression. It looks like he's looking at something, and then it cuts to a clip of what he's looking at, but it's like another clip of, you know, like someone shooting off the side of a water slide, and then it cuts back to him, and he like looks over like he's looking at something else, and it's somebody else doing something insane at a water park, and he like looks over here and it's someone else doing something insane, and then it's usually cuts to him and he like turns and leaves. And it's really like it's a really funny way of mashing things together, and we really laughed at it. And because we laughed at it and talked about it, it kept popping up in Heather's feed over and over and over again. And then it was kind of this thing of like, well, this is sort of interesting because this account is blowing up. This content is blowing up. Every video is the same format. So whatever it is, like usually it's first day at a thing or experiencing a whatever. And it's like, you know, there's one like at a trampoline park, and it's just kind of the same thing. Like looking expression. And then the clips, it's almost like America's Funniest Videos in a way. Like it's all the other clips. And I don't know. It's just sort of, it became a thing of like, oh, wow. So it's funny and creative, but at the same time, you are just sort of taking existing popular things,
well,
not changing them and just folding them into your thing. Because now if I'm going to laugh at the dog falling off a couch on its own post, now I'm laughing at it again, but now it's on your post.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
I'm trying to.
I was trying to stall while you found it.
Find it. I don't remember the guy's name, but I feel like it's really funny. It's obviously really entertaining. It's like super viral, but I do. It's almost. It just makes me feel like, where's the line? You know.
What line?
Of like, this is my content versus reusing other people's content. Like.
Yeah, when you start to kind of look at the structure of it, it sort of, because there's the thing. Okay, the other example was I found one that was like, it was somebody filmed their golden retriever sleeping, and it was like my dog sleeping, and then it cut to like a tornado destroying a house, and then showed their dog sleeping, and then it cut to like a hurricane, a nuclear bomb test, like all this footage of, you know, very loud things. And then it cut to them like opening the chip bag, and the dog like woke up and came over here. And it's like, in a way, that's kind of the same thing. But for some reason, it was like, because there was at least more original footage and sort of like, I don't know if you call it a story, but like there was a climax and a resolution, I guess. I don't know. It's something about it.
Okay, I found him. Here we go. God, that's a.
And these are funny videos. Like, I'm not like I don't. That's why I don't want to be critical of a person.
How do I?
You know what we need to ask the Instagram AI is like, can you?
Okay.
Friggin'
so here,
7 million?
Yes, that's why it's like. Okay, so here's this guy. Do we have sound effects on? Is this it?
I don't know if it matters really.
So let's go to like a super popular one.
I mean, I see one with 17 million, 23 million, 30 million. Jesus. These are crazy numbers.
Okay, here. This one has 99 million.
And he usually does wear a different costume and does try to like match the background.
99 million. That is a number. Holy crap. Okay, so here we go.
Your sound is muted there.
This ain't the chicken noodle soup that I ordered, but I'll take it. Soup with a live action ratatouille versus school later.
What is that?
It's a birthday cake of cigarette.
No.
That's kind of fun though.
No.
See, I'm laughing. It works. I'm entertained.
So that's the thing is like, obviously these videos are
they're so shareable. They're so like
funny
simple
and viral and just insane. Yeah. First day as a parkour athlete and just.
Jesus.
Do you want to die right now, buddy?
Oh my God.
But so like the I don't know how to feel about it because it's like it's 100 million basically, right?
Can I see something?
But like most of what he does is like you compile the footage. Most of it is not you. And the only reason why I thought about this is because one of the ones that I saw was a reel that I had seen earlier that week, and like that reel made it into the compilation. And so I was just like, I don't think he tags the other people.
Oh, the people that they came from?
Yeah. And so it just, I don't know, it kind of makes me like,
Okay.
you can't make that content without the other footage that you're including.
Okay, I see what
And
you're
like,
saying.
you are like, okay, so because fair use is basically you can reuse other people's content if you change it enough, right? What is it? It's like, so if I want to do a commentary video about your video and I have your video in there start to finish, the entirety of the thing,
Right.
I have to like add enough where
That's
it's-
typically where, like, so say a podcast, right? Like a scene by scene episode breakdown podcast of a TV show, of a 30-minute TV show, but the podcast episode is 90 minutes long.
yeah,
Even though they cover the whole episode in there, they're adding so much to it, and they're talking about it so
discussion
much.
and opinion and research and all that. And like, I don't know. It is clever because I understand that it's your face, it's your expression that you're kind of like, that's the funny part. But
So the U.S. government says for purposes such as commentary, criticism, news reporting, and scholarly reports. So it's not just like
it says limited portions, though. See,
limited portions for those kinds of things. Well, so the reason I was asking, I don't know how to see if I can get this one. Boom. I mentioned when we talked about that thing, talked about like America's Funniest Home Videos, which obviously like people get flown out to be on the show, they get credit, they get prizes.
There's a license.
They're signing contracts over.
yeah, there's a license.
There's Daily Dose of Internet, which is a channel that's been around for a long time, although I don't think they do daily. I think they do like most days. And it's kind of the same thing. It's just sort of like clips of,
It's fun stuff from the internet.
viral things.
Yeah.
What you do notice that he's been doing this for over a decade, like a very, very, very long time. And this one is from today and has 250,000 views already in a couple hours. But he goes straight down. Here's every source. And I do know I've heard him on podcasts, the guy who runs the channel, talking about like he doesn't just take them, but he gets permission for each one. Like he contacts the person, gets permission. In some cases, I think like buys rights. Like I think sometimes money is spent to be able to use these things. And then it's like the compilation of them.
Let me see. 100 million. Where was it?
I think he has a lot that are like 100 million. Well, there you go. There's
Okay, so I guess when he can,
he credits him.
he credits.
I mean, I'm sure if it didn't fall under
Here.
I'm sure if it didn't fall under fair use, he would have known about that by now and it wouldn't have been able to get this far. So obviously it's like enough of recontextualization that it counts. But I think you're looking at it more from like a creator standpoint. Like someone is slaving away making something from scratch out of nothing.
Well, it's hard because with reels, like especially the ones in these compilations, it's like you're already you're recording something that's happening, but it's like, what if it was my first day working at a bowling alley and I accidentally dropped the bowling ball and it broke something and like someone recorded it, we shared it because we thought it was funny, but then now you take it and it's like 100 million views, and I don't know, it's just maybe if like permission was asked, I don't know.
Yeah, it could be, we don't know.
It's just I know this is the foundation for every single React channel under the sun. So I guess what I'm asking myself is, how is it any different, But it does, I guess like the reason why I bring it up is because it does kind of make me feel like, at what point is it an original idea versus like you kind of, using someone else's idea? I don't know. I really don't know.
I see what you're saying.
Because it's not collaborative.
Right.
Like
I don't know. I don't know the answer. Yeah. It's so different from anything I've ever done.
Okay. Let's get back with the comments. Obsbot.
Oh,
That
that's
was
cool.
SRT.
You can stream straight from the camera.
Bailey is here. Hello. Aaron is one smart cookie. Bailey says, also, sorry I haven't been able to catch Q&A streams on Tom's channel. No worries.
don't.
It is like 5 in the morning.
Yeah, they're random times and they're at the absolute bum crack of dawn for you.
The guy reacting to the first day at the construction site water park, and yes, this guy. Mark says, if ChatGPT returned video content, it could pull just relevant sections and eliminate your revenue stream from your videos, just like it eliminates advertising revenue when it quotes web page content. Oh, does it?
I mean, it can't do that currently. And that's the thing YouTube got in trouble for. I see if it did this, then that could happen. But that's also a thing YouTube got in trouble for last year, which is also why suddenly a bunch of people got invalid traffic to like boost ad revenue. Was when YouTube sells ad space to advertisers, there are definitions of what counts as a view. So if you're buying ad space for 100,000 views on something or whatever, what counts as it, and that's where Facebook got in trouble years ago, where like if you just scrolled through your feed and a video started playing at all, even if you didn't watch it, counted as a view. If you're a company paying for advertising, you don't want that counting as like something you paid for. So you're supposed to, I forget what the qualifications are, but it's supposed to be like on the YouTube platform, video plays for a certain amount of time, that counts as an ad play. And what YouTube was doing was they were counting it when things were embedded elsewhere or ads are being blocked or whatever. They got sued. They had to pay a whole bunch of money back. And that's also when suddenly like all these creators got weird claims against them where, oh, sorry, we can't pay you as much ad revenue anymore. Real suspicious timing on all that. But the same, that would break the same rule, I think, if it just pulled this little excerpt and threw it over there.
Kate says, I hope he's giving credit to the sources. He is.
Seems like it. Yeah, as much as possible.
Hang Loose Fishing. Aaron, I bought my daughter the same hockey bag you got.
Oh,
No
which
more
one is
big,
that?
huge
I need to
bag.
know which bag this is.
Yeah. Oh, Tom, I bought my daughter the same goalie.
The Bauer one? I have the Bauer one. Or
Yeah.
I had the Warrior one first, which is huge. And then I actually got a slightly smaller Bauer one.
Yeah. I use a junior bag because they're so big.
But you're not a goalie. The goalie gear is different.
No, I know.
Because I want everything, including my pads, in the bag.
Andre says, the concept of taking other people's videos, adding your own reaction as a concept to tie them together, kind of like ML taking artists' drawing and creating new look-alike drawings based on them. Yeah, but one
Who's
is like a
ML?
human.
Oh, machine learning.
Who's ML?
Wow.
Can't even think of a comeback. He meant Tom. Crazy. That's another guy than the one I was thinking about, but that type of video is like subgenre and shorts reels. But yeah, they are borderline in terms of illegitimate ownership. It's just, I feel like in 2024, we're at this like crossroads in terms of like, it's happening right now. We're about to get bombarded with an insane amount of content with AI, with all these tools that make it so easy. Everyone on the YouTube Huddle Up was telling me we could just drop in the recording for the couples table into, I think it's called Opus Clips, and it'll just make the cuts. It'll just make clips for free. For freaking free. Like vertical caption, probably. Boom. Like, I just feel like there's going to be so much more content, and I'm trying to, there's like a greater discussion in terms of like, how do we have to keep up with this insane, like never ending stream of new content, but how do we also maintain like creative and artistic integrity and individuality and making stuff that makes an impact? I don't know.
So if someone has been creating on YouTube and looked into it for essentially any amount of time, you've no doubtedly come across Roberto Blake, who has been around forever as like YouTube coach, expert content creator. And a thing that he constantly hammers home, which I very much agree with, is there is, in terms of like content saturation and there being too much content, there is a saturation of low effort and low quality content. There's not a saturation of high quality, high effort content. And I don't think, I think that's going to remain true.
Yeah.
Even more so, probably.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Is like, I feel like it's someone going like this on the scale.
Yeah.
Like I do feel like in 2024, because of the timing of AI and all these new tools that are implementing AI, that are like, regardless if you use it, you can't help but start to look at like how do you make content easier or make more of it? Or
yeah, it's not going away.
Yeah.
But I think, in terms of tipping the scale, so you have low effort and high effort content, right? And right now, like according to things like Roberto says, there's a lot of low effort, so that the scales tip this way. And now there's just going to be like even more. But if you look at it, that means now this is even up higher. Like high quality content is even like a higher echelon than it was before.
The problem is that the way to discover
how you find that,
to go through that.
Yeah,
that's the problem. It's no one. It's so hard to get to just, if everyone could just, let's just turn off the button where there's just no low quality content anywhere in your in your zeitgeist. That'd be great. But you have to go through. And
I think a thing that maybe you're getting at with these kind of videos is say someone does make something high quality, and then the 18th remix redux of that is the thing that gets 100 million views, and the original gets you 500. But it's
it makes me sad. It makes me so sad every time I see somebody reposting a thing. Someone posts a thing and it's people have been messaging me saying that this account took it and didn't give me credit or whatever. And it's just
this was the thing that I used to go over a lot with my students, and this was 10 years ago, so it's even more relevant now because they would always want to use songs in their videos, right? And of course, when it comes to playing a video for critique in my classroom, it doesn't matter how copyrighted anything is, but I always wanted them to follow the proper rule in case they did want to share it somewhere or whatever. You can't use copyrighted music. And a thing that they always thought was, we'll put it in the credits. And so what I would do sometimes is I would go over to a student's desk, because they always had a phone out on their desk, and I would take their phone. And they'd always be like, hey, and I'm I'd say do you feel bad if I just stole your phone? And they're like, yeah. And I go, okay, what if I tell everyone, hey, I just stole their phone. Do you feel better? And they were like, no. And I'm like, exactly. You can't just putting it in the credits doesn't now make everything okay.
The thing is so the two platforms that I'm on the most are Instagram and YouTube. And so I look at them differently. The way that I use them is totally different. And I kind of see YouTube Instagram as this is the closest thing to being able to take a pulse on the average social media consumer person, right? Someone who doesn't necessarily create.
Right.
And the thing is, so if something is viral on Instagram, that tells me it's been on the news, it's probably Good Morning America. It's that,
sure.
It's just a wider base. I feel like YouTube, there's a higher retention, but I feel actually, I don't even know what the average daily user is at this point. Anyway, I digress. The thing is with Instagram is they don't even pay creators. So I'm not even pissed that the original creator isn't getting paid, because it's not even about money. But it's just I feel if someone, it would just make me sad if someone was creating something, put it out there, and then did not get credit, and then someone reposted it and they got all this credit, and now they're verified and stuff. It just makes me so sad. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I definitely
I've seen
get that.
enough where it's happened. So.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Where are we here? I see videos where content creators complain about some footage and show it, like old TV shows, to make a point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's what falls into fair use.
Yeah.
And then you can.
I've made I had a gaming channel. Yeah.
Times,
here's actual footage from the video game, and then let's discuss.
Yeah, or I'll say
that's okay.
So and so did something on their channel where they did blah blah blah, and you show a clip of the video. Hopefully, maybe even put
look at this bad pun that Tom did.
Sad Final Cut Pro didn't get more love. Still no captions option.
I'm on premium because I can't stand ads. Same.
Yeah, I always forget YouTube has ads.
Is it more or less legal if a human versus machine using someone creative work without permission?
I would think the law applies the same, right? But because it depend on if it's a machine, someone must own the account that the machine is posting to, right? So
yeah, but the person who uses the machine doesn't know where the source. Like if they wanted a credit,
it though. That's
if they wanted a credit, they wouldn't be able to credit if they wanted to.
I know, but if I hire you to build something, do some construction on our house, and then you go to Home Depot and rob them of all their tools, it doesn't make it.
It's not the same though, because if you're using, like even chat, wasn't this kind of like sus sourced, pulled for the entire and like all of the internet?
I don't know.
So if you use stuff,
I know it's
like
controversial, but
chat, then you're.
I think supposedly there's supposed to be limits on it, but I don't know what they are or how effectively they're put in.
Randall says AI can do voices of famous people and saw an example of video and pics where the AI did the story for it, even cut out the bad parts. AI can learn your images and expression from your video content and create content you completely disagree with that looks like it came from you. This is something that terrifies me, but also makes me feel like it is not something that me personally I have to worry about. But I do think in terms of we're in an election year, I feel like.
Well, I remember
this can be a huge problem.
I haven't been on Facebook in ages, but in the last election 4 years ago, I was still kind of like checking Facebook more regularly, and I would see things pop up that were like, it's literally like you see a politician and things are cut together with so many jump cuts that like literally if there's a clock in the background, it's like changing the time between each word because it's like, it's so horrifically edited and like audio pops because the audio is not smoothed over and people are still sharing it like, look how insane like this person is or how, like poor mental state or whatever. And people are still falling for that. And that was like, you can see the strings and the tape and all, like you can see the seams in that. Something that is like exponentially more polished and smooth. I think it's Marquez Brownlee had a really good example of this. Currently, where like a lot of AI generated video and stuff is, if you know that it is and you're looking at it, you can kind of tell. You can.
Yeah, but someone has to know what to look for.
But if you don't know to look for that, and especially if you're not even in the context,
it's the same thing. Like you can't see it unless somebody shows it to you. Like, this is like the battleships on the ocean.
Oh right, what was it? There's like the legend that when the Native Americans first saw like Spanish ships in the ocean or something,
they had no idea what they were looking at.
It was like they couldn't see them.
Yeah.
Because the brain was just like, nope.
Exactly. Like you just if you hadn't seen it before, you've no idea.
I meant to turn away and I turned to cough on you.
And I'm sorry. All over
I meant to go this way, cough, and I turned at you.
I was like, bro, it's go away all of a sudden.
I'm sorry. My brain broke.
If someone makes a video tutorial and an AI website service creates a text version of the video tutorial and wins the Google search results for that topic, it's a loss for the creator.
Yes and no. I mean, yeah, but I guess if you're saying they take the tutorial, make it text, and now I was thinking you're doing like they have a website where now the tutorial's embedded there. That would be okay, mostly. But you're saying they take the text from it, turn it into its own separate blog post, and now it's over here.
My argument to this is like that has been happening before AI. Like
people were just doing it was people's
literally somebody. This was years ago. Somebody ripped one of my tutorials and then uploaded it to their channel to sell their freaking online course.
Wait, they've even put their own like watermark and stuff on it.
It was insane. Yeah. And so it's like I feel like that'll always keep happening, and if anything it'll be more prevalent, but I think like the thing that I'll always default to is the people who like run those websites would never be able to do what we do. They'll never be able to present on camera, build their own YouTube channel, like share their personality, like do the thing that only you can do. Like that's why they're copying other people. And
I've never seen that level of it actually be successful. I've seen it. It's always like very low views, very low engagement.
You'll make money, and sure, it's probably taking money away from the creator, but I feel like I don't think it's ever going to compare to the value that an actual creator, I feel like that's like, change on the side. Whereas if you just like, what are you going to do about it also, So like just focus on creating your stuff, because that's always going to happen.
Yeah.
Matt says, let's just hope AI doesn't start doing bad puns like someone we know. More and more noise to sift through.
Yeah, noise.
YouTube copyright strikes. YouTubers for using music from major music labels, they could use the same tech to recognize the video clip in a compilation and give views to the original video. This,
that's interesting.
I feel like is impossible.
We had different reactions. I was
No.
like, that's interesting.
And the reason is because the reason is because YouTube's copyright is already hard. Because it's hard to like it does a really good job, but if you want to dispute something or even if you see that someone's clearly violate, like if they took your video, sometimes it's hard. For some reason, it's like it flies under the radar for some reason. Like I've seen people who have an actual issue with the copyright system and they like can't get it resolved.
Right.
They can't get a hold of a person because it's just an automated system and you have to just like go through the channels or whatever. So I feel like if we're going to start using that same like technology to like, you're already processing the video and scanning through every frame for whatever. Just add on this. The thing is, like, how do you differentiate between like watch parties and reaction videos and news and, you know, like there are people who are using using other people's videos
legitimately
appropriately. Yes. So how,
right. How
unless it was a human. Yeah. Cause I can't imagine us getting to the point where an AI would be able to differentiate. Oh, this is a commentary video. How?
Yeah, I need to look up something and see if I can find this statistic.
MCJ in the house. What's up? There's no money for YouTube in doing that for small creators. Yeah, that's the other thing. Why did Tom Buck start a podcast? Because he wanted to buck the trend and create something truly irresistible.
Is this an
That's
AI
from
thing?
ChatGPT.
Okay. Wow.
Randall says, I find that viewers only watch an average 3 to 4 minutes. I get more views on shorts. Yeah, the thing is, like, I don't know. Shorts versus long we could do a whole episode on that. But I feel like even though I get more views on shorts, it doesn't translate over to the community building and the relationship building is non-existent. So I feel like I don't even know what the rate of like someone who watches a short that's never seen your content before actually subscribes and watches more content. I don't know.
Sorry, I'm doing relevant things.
Can someone explain why people watching Plain Land is them? I help out fellow YOLO box user and I check out his channel and it was Plains Landing taking off. I don't know. Oh, why is that a thing? Actually, Aviation Nerd here can tell you why.
Yeah, I actually can with that specifically.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the same thing, but I do feel like it's the same thing of I follow this one account on Instagram and she's all about cleaning and oh my god, I will sit there and watch the entire reel of her cleaning her kitchen, she's like really paranoid about cleaning. Even when she checks into the JW Marriott, she will go clean the whole freaking thing, which is like, you know, whatever. But it's so satisfying.
So the math I was doing, I was trying to look, there's roughly estimated, it's probably more than this now, 500 minutes of content uploaded to YouTube, 500 hours of content uploaded every minute to YouTube. If you take the number of minutes in a day, that about 1.5 to 2 years worth of content is uploaded to YouTube every day. So it would take you, just watch from beginning to end, it would take you 1.5 to 2 years of just watching the 1 day's worth. That's a lot of stuff. So when it comes to like sifting through this and figuring it out, it just becomes more and more impossible for like an individual to do it, was my point. The aviation thing, that's a thing. There's people, this has been around since way before YouTube. People will go to the end of airport runways with their binoculars and just watch planes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So in LAX, LAX has an In-N-Out right next to it. And every time I've gone there, throw a blanket on the grass and just lay on the grass and watch the planes go by.
And people, it's kind of the same thing with trains where people will like, it's almost like bird watching. Like what kind of train, what kind of bird, what kind of plane.
Exactly.
And planes are fun because you can listen to air traffic control. So you can see like, oh, here's the 4 o'clock to London, and you can hear them talking and you see the thing go. And it's just
like a nerdy thing.
It's just a nerdy thing. Yeah.
It's for the people who are super into it. They're super into it. It's the thing. Andre says the people owning the machine learning machines like Midjourney know they are training their models on copyrighted material and don't care. Meta currently is training their AI on regular people's photos.
I mean, all of these companies are evil to a degree.
You know, Instagram, like, I saw an artist like share this reel that was like, oh, you have to uncheck this thing that you have unwillingly. It was checked by default in your Instagram settings that like whatever your thing is being fed into the AI or whatever. I don't know. Whoa.
Somebody had it.
I don't know, because I don't create digital content. Well, I do create digital content, but I mean in terms of like an artist, I'm not like a graphic designer or whatever. But say on some planet, somebody is taking all of my YouTube videos, all of our Couples Table episodes, and feeding it into whatever. I don't know if it's going to spit out something that looks exactly like me, especially like combined with all the stuff. And so, I don't know if it's like a huge, I feel like there's other things that I'm like more concerned about. You just nodded your head. As a pilot, I find those channels fascinating, especially a big corporates like LAX.
Why didn't you realize you were a pilot?
But
Why didn't I realize?
I'm an aviation nerd.
Yeah, and just watching the planes and seeing
Oh yeah,
what it was
Matt's
doing.
traveled all over the place, so is so not. Story blocks, etc., have been used on YouTube videos forever.
Yeah, when we use story blocks and things, it's like royalty-free music. You're essentially paying for the license to use that thing, the non-exclusive license.
Heather, yeah, it's been happening. Problem now is AI and ML can do this 1,000-fold and automated. It's so new. Now we can't really comprehend how much this can hurt things going forward. Yeah. And I also don't think, the reason why I bring it up is I think it's important to be aware and to talk about it. But I also do feel like the thing that we can do as creators is just to be more creative. It's like,
regardless of how you feel about it, like the genie is not going back in the bottle.
Right. Exactly.
And so there, because I have the same thing of like, I feel a way about it. Like it'd be nice if things were all whatever, but at the same time, if this is the world we live in, it's like when, what was it? Like handwriting was a thing of like, you can't write stuff down because then you will forget and human memory will collapse and nobody will know anything and intelligence will fail. And it's like, yeah, I mean, the ability to write things down does mean you don't have to necessarily remember as much, but then it also lets you pass on knowledge to generations. And so you don't have to start over. Like, what was it? I think it was like octopi. An octopus is so intelligent that it has the intelligence, like the capability in theory to reach human-like levels of intelligence, but their lifespans are so short and they can't pass on knowledge that every generation starts from scratch, basically.
Oh, yes.
So you can't, it'll never get there.
DJ Aware and Reapel Room in the house. Using YouTube copyright system to identify original material could be used for attributing view time ad revenue to the original clip content and sharing of ad revenue with the original creator.
There has to be something, and I know it seems like YouTube's actually taking it quite seriously, like trying to figure it out because of all the repercussions that we can't even consider currently.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, like, I don't know. So here's what I was going to say. I was going to say, well, if we go to NAB and a bunch of people come up to Tom and they're like, hey, Tom, will you be in my YouTube video? They put your face in the thumbnail and they're probably clicking on that thumbnail, not because it's that person's channel who's a lot smaller. It's probably because the Tom Buck is in this video.
I would think they would not click on it.
They're like monetizing off of your face, but you're not getting any like cut from that. And obviously, like, I don't know how it operates on like, mega YouTube level where probably if there's an insane collaboration, there's some kind of contract.
Well, I mean, the number of people that put
split and whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
This is one of those things where it's so far beyond my area of knowledge or expertise that I have my opinions on it, but I just feel so not qualified to speak on it. I can talk to you about windscreens. for microphones.
So when I review a product and I'm interested in it, I will buy it. I learn how to use a device and make a lot of mistakes because I do not watch what other content creators have done with it also. Yes, I do that too. Like I can't see anyone else's because I want to be able to speak genuinely from my experience.
Yeah. I don't, if I'm, doing a pod mic review, I don't watch anybody else's pod mic review until after mine is done.
Yeah. NVIDIA is now the largest company in the world, passing Microsoft and Apple. They make the chips used in AI.
Yeah, I read about that.
And when I went to high school, typing was a class. When I went to high school, typing was a class.
Yeah, the keyboard cover.
Yeah, I am still 120 words per minute.
Oh, she's an amazing typist.
Oh my God, when people
Mavis Beacon over here
type horribly, I cannot help but just like, okay, so we went to a neurologist appointment recently, and the neurologist was awesome. She was like fantastic, like just like a great doctor. Holy crap, she could not type.
She was doing the notes during the appointment.
It was this, and I almost was like, I would never, but I fantasized, like, tell me what you're doing.
Step aside.
Yeah. Oh my God. Anyway. What is worrying is feeling your ideas or content is being stolen. How many times have you seen a subject comes out and then see a plethora of the same thing?
Yeah. I mean, that's...
But see, it's also like, I also want to look at it in terms of it could be two sides of the same coin. So, for example, I posted a video after coming back from NAB about how I noticed that there was this gap in the creator economy that doesn't focus on the creator middle class and all of this. And I would love for people to take that idea and keep making more content about it. Like, keep taking this idea. This is something that's important. It's an issue that, like, we should be having discussions about. And so I feel like if you want, like, people to share the thing, like, share your ideas and kind of, like, contribute to a discussion that you're starting, you have to take the bad with the good. Like, you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So here's the thing. I hope this can be taken in a non,
like, people can steal your idea. Yes. Like, if I don't know I can't even think of something that would be like, well, maybe you're better at examples, but like if you come up with this like novel concept and like nobody else can make that video and then someone obviously watches it and then does. But again, it's the same thing. Like, what if it is something that you're trying to highlight or share excitement about? Hey, like, I found this thing. Like,
but this is nothing new. I mean,
okay, I have insomnia, right? And what if I found something that like actually helped and then I made a video for all these people who struggle with insomnia, the same thing. Like, yes, go tell everybody, because all of us who struggle with this, like, here is our answer. Yeah. At least it's worth a try.
But I think of like 2017, Peter McKinnon starts making YouTube videos that are of a quality people hadn't really seen on YouTube before. How many great value Peter McKinnon showed up after that because everybody saw this thing that hadn't been done before and took it and did their own version of it. And a lot of it
me and Casey Neistat.
Yeah, and sure, I mean, this happens with anything. It's happened in any industry ever for all of time. And you get a lot of just like sort of bland copycats, but then you get people who will take it and sort of like, and that's where influences and inspiration and stuff come from that are, and some of that too is realizing what you're putting out there. So about 2 years ago, I did a thumbnail tutorial, like how I make my YouTube thumbnails. And it was how I made thumbnails with the style at the time. And one thing that was very specific was there's a sort of a transparent black bar with some neon lines over it. Showed how to do it and then put up a Photoshop PSD file free for download on that tutorial. I noticed I was getting recommendations of, forget what show it was, The Tonight Show? One of Seth, maybe it was Seth Meyers.
Tom is convinced.
I'm not convinced. Well, I'm sort of essentially. They kind of have thumbnails that if you take my template and overlay it on top of their thumbnails, it kind of looks like it's my template. It's real specific and like not just that it's like a black bar with neon that's happened, but like the shades and the intensity are like ding ding, perfect match. And it's like, that's cool. I don't know if that's the case. It's also like not the most original idea in the world. So they could have just come up with this idea. But I can also imagine somebody got assigned the job, probably some or non-paid intern got assigned like we upload like 1 million interview clips a day on YouTube, and you have to make the individual thumbnails for all of them. And they're like, oh my God, what do I do? So I go to YouTube, how to type in a thumbnail. They find a tutorial. The tutorial has a PSD file ready for download. They download the file. They use that. Why wouldn't you do that? I cannot get upset about that if that is the case, because the thing that happens, and I've seen this like going back to some of the bigger YouTube channels and inspire others, I see them how I make my YouTube videos. Here's my YouTube studio. And then I do see other people copy those. And then I see the original people get upset that people are copying them. And I'm like, you can't teach people how to do something and get upset when they do it. You can't share your secrets and then be upset when people use your recipe.
Here's what I think the difference is. Because first of all, you're a professional teacher. So like, this is your whole career. It is like literally your role that your students will surpass you, you know.
I have been, I don't know if it's trained or had a natural thing of like, I like sharing something with someone and seeing what they do with it.
The other thing is like on my end, even though like AI and, you know, people stealing content and like even the thing that I brought up that kicked off this conversation in the first place, knowing that there are people out there that, you know, take other people's content, blah, blah, blah. The reason why I would never look at it like, I don't know, this could be blind optimism. I have been called out for
That's a good thing to have.
Before.
Let's just say that again.
But the thing is, like, to me, as a creator, a shortage of ideas is not my problem. Like, if you ask me today, come up with 1,000 content ideas, I could do it. 2 months from now, I would come up with 1,000 completely different new ideas, which is why it's like, even if someone were to take my content, it's like, you're never going to be able to execute it the way that I do, or you're never going to be able to think like me. Like, no one is in this head except for me, which is why, like, I don't have that mindset of like, you know, I don't know. It's like, even if you did take it, it's only going to, like, to me, there's bigger things to worry about, you know, like crypto coin hacks, whatever. Like,
not buying crypto. You mean missing out on the opportunity? Buy our couple coin.
You know, like, I feel like there's things that are more concerning to me rather than like, I can't imagine like, okay, so say a couple decided to start the couple's chairs and did their own live stream podcast,
the couple's
like
couch.
Yeah, it's never gonna be. It's not gonna be us. You know, it's not. It's like,
it could be its own thing though.
Yeah, and then it's great. Like, more voices. You know, I don't know.
I think it goes down to intent. Like, are you trying to just rip off, copy, steal? Or are you inspired by? I think it's different.
Will NVIDIA become our Skynet? Randall says, a cousin played with an old typewriter that I had in out den, and she has never seen one before. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Andre, big difference between putting a person in a thumbnail versus putting 10 clips from other people in a short with yourself reacting between them.
True.
Yeah. Well, I think the difference is permission. It's because, like, people would ask you whether you'd be in their video.
Hopefully.
Randall says, so I think I had an original content, and when I finished and posted it, I started watching YouTube again. I see that same content was done 30 times before.
But it wasn't done by you, though, and that's kind of the point you were getting at.
Well, that, and like, I'll tell you right now, everything's probably already been done, you know? So it's like, I don't think it's about creating an original idea. I think it's about doing it your way.
Yeah, by the time I get around to my MV7 Plus review, that thing's going to have been
already
out for 8 months.
video.
And
Yeah.
Audio Hotline's working on it. Like, it's done.
To me, novelty is not the thing that's going to guarantee success. Like, even if you're the first one to do something, it's not the first and the only. Yes, that is a recipe for success, but I don't think it's the only one. Actually, it isn't the only one. That's just a fact. And then also, I think... I have noticed that when you, like, if I were to make a video about Ecamm, after I upload it, when I load YouTube, a lot of my recommendations will be about Ecamm.
Sure.
So it's like, those videos will already be there. It's just that now that you've uploaded a video about that thing, YouTube will probably
really like this thing. You want to see more of it.
Personally, I love the opportunities and possibilities of AI and ML. It can be used for amazing things. At the same time, there needs to be some form of regulation of usage and sourcing materials. Agreed.
Yep.
Mark says, what if someone created a channel called Tom Buck's Puns that just contained clips of Tom's puns that got millions of views?
I mean, I don't know. I'm sure people do things like that. Like there has to be like a Mr. Beast clips video channel that's not owned by him, or many of them probably, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what the
fan channels.
Yeah, I don't know what the
I honestly feel
are.
like if you're at that level, it probably doesn't even.
Yeah.
It probably doesn't matter.
They're gonna get tired of making those videos before it becomes monetarily rewarding.
Well, no. Like I feel like if you're PewDiePie, like who cares if someone's starting a fan channel? Like he's not gonna care.
Right.
You know, it's like. How could you get mad at someone like?
I think the question here is like, what if that became bigger than the source? Their channel's like now more successful than.
But see, like it wouldn't be because like you don't focus on puns, you focus on AV. So if someone took the puns, it's like there's pun channels out there, dedicated pun channels that are gonna be way more, like it's intentionally a pun channel. Yours is just like a feature, you know. It's not the main thing. I don't doubt that an intern has learned from Tom.
I found the things. It was Late Night with Seth Meyers. It's the exact same shades and opacities and things, which is fine. That's why I put it online, was so people could use it.
Look at his face.
I'm not.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah, I'm not upset about this.
No, I know you're not. I never said you were.
And I don't even know. It's also, like I said, not the most original idea in the world, so they could have just been like, this is what works to make titles visible.
Matt says, I was running sound for Michael Bublé, and he said, steal from one, you're a thief. Steal from many and call it research, and he got that from Tony Bennett. People copy from everyone in all trades.
Yeah.
And I don't even think it's like copying. It's like just learning. Like a kid is
being
gonna
inspired
follow.
By.
Yeah, a kid is gonna like copy their parents.
Yeah, if you've ever liked, I mean, Matt does music. If you ever like a band or a performer, and you're like,
gonna,
I love them, and then you see an interview with someone like, oh man, growing up, I only listened to this band or performer, and you go listen to them, and you're like, hey, that does kind of sound like you. Like you can hear where things came from.
We might make a service to scan his videos, machine learn what's puns, and auto extract them, and create shorts and auto post.
You could. What you should do is do that, and then make a channel that cuts all of them out, and then that will be more successful.
Tom gets a surprising amount of comments that tell him to shut up with the puns.
It's a lot.
It's like, which is so weird.
Sometimes
it's like, why are you here?
Sometimes they're short and rude. It's just like, shut up, unsubscribe because of this, whatever. But sometimes they really go into it where it's like, I love your channels and your styles, but I can't watch you anymore. You waste so much time. And you do this, and I wish you would drop.
Yeah,
a thing. It's like, for your own good, I need to tell you this.
Yeah, it's so sad. Don't talk to my husband like that, please. Just leave.
It's funny when you like, okay, so if you go through the comments and everyone else here is having a good time, not everyone, most people here seem to be enjoying it. Like, it's like you show up to a party that everyone's having fun at, and you're like, this music is too loud and there's way too much food over here and you guys are all wrong, and it's like, what? Like, why are you
just go
to a different party?
Yeah. Rick on Mike says inspiration versus copying is a fine line. Before Bruno Mars was probably inspired by Usher, who was inspired by Michael Jackson, who was probably inspired by James Brown, and so on and so on.
Yep.
Yeah. Mr. Camera Tricky, what makes me is all the different skills that I've learned and apply them to any given task.
Yeah, very unique combination of skills, inspiration, experience, perspectives.
Yeah.
Faux show.
All right, well, we are way past top of the hour.
Yeah. It's time to clear the table.
Yeah, we have a lot to clear.
I know. I'm just going to take a couple trips.
All right.
Wish AI could
that
clear
was fun.
it for me. Yep.
We should be back here, right? Yeah.
Next
we'll be back
Friday?
to our normal, regularly scheduled
broadcast.
It'll
be the last one of your current age.
Oh, yeah. My birthday's coming up. I keep thinking I'm turning 40 because I've already aged myself up in my mind. I'm turning 39. But see, this happens in June because I'm like, I'm turning 39. Wait, I'm turning 40. No, I'm turning 30. I've done this, like,
Yeah.
forever. Anyway, turning 39. So, anyway. All right, cool. Check you guys out
Hope
later.
you have a safe, happy, healthy, fun rest of your week and weekend. And we'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.